Rain drummed against the glass walls of Peterson Auto Gallery in downtown Toronto, where polished sedans gleamed under cold fluorescent light. Lily Grant, still wearing her coffee-stained diner uniform after a 14-hour shift, stepped across the marble floor, clutching a small envelope of cash, her savings from 3 long years. She paused by a silver Accord, her reflection flickering across its mirror-bright surface. A salesman with slicked-back hair and a polished smile looked her over. "You sure you're in the right place, ma'am?" His tone dripped with mock politeness. Lily met his gaze. "I'm here to buy a car," she said evenly. His smirk deepened. "Then you might want to try the used lot out back. Something more." "Your speed." The words cut sharper than he knew, and for a heartbeat, the entire showroom seemed to hold its breath. None of them realized that the woman they were belittling would soon return with the power to change every life in that room. If this story moves you, tap like and subscribe to Canada's Heartfelt Tales, where dignity always gets the last word. Under the sharp glare of the showroom lights, the laughter still echoed. Blake's smug voice carried across the polished floor, his words sharp enough to cut through the hum of idle conversations. Lily didn't look back. She simply walked out into the rain, the city's reflections blurring beneath her footsteps. Each drop that struck her face reminded her why she had worked so hard, for moments like this, when she would have every reason to give up and yet refuse to. That night, she sat alone in her small apartment above a bakery in East Vancouver. The faint scent of sugar and yeast drifted through the floorboards. On the table before her lay the same envelope of cash, now damp at the edges. She placed it aside and opened her laptop. The screen's glow lit her face as she scrolled through the Chen Foundation's financial reports. Her foundation, built quietly over a decade of late nights and relentless discipline. She read through project proposals for youth scholarships, hospital donations, and green initiatives. But tonight she stopped on a new folder. Community Fleet Program. A simple note at the top read, "For those who never stop working." The next morning the rain had cleared, leaving the streets washed and glistening. At 8 o'clock sharp, Lily stepped out of a black sedan in front of Peterson Auto Gallery. She was unrecognizable. A tailored navy suit, polished heels, and a calm, poised expression replaced the tired waitress from the night before. When she entered the showroom, conversation stopped. Blake was mid-pitch with another customer when he saw her reflection in the car window. For a split second he didn't move. "Good morning, Mr. Morrison," she said, her tone even and precise. "I believe we met yesterday." He stammered, trying to recover. Miss Grant." Yes, of course. Back to take a look at that Civic, I suppose." Her gaze didn't waver. "No. I'm here to discuss a bulk purchase. 12 vehicles for the Chen Foundation's local service initiative." He blinked. "The what?" Before he could finish, the general manager emerged from his office, his voice full of forced charm. "Miss Grant, what an honor. We've heard so much about your organization." Blake turned, confusion twisting his expression. The manager continued, "Mr. Morrison, didn't you recognize her? The Chen Foundation funds several of our community programs." Lily's calm smile didn't reach her eyes. "He recognized me. Just not who I am." The words hit with quiet precision. Around them, staff whispered. The receptionist pretended to adjust paperwork. The mechanic froze mid-step. Blake's confidence faltered under the weight of a truth he couldn't laugh away. Lily began walking slowly around the silver Accord she had admired before. "Yesterday you told me this car was out of my reach," she said softly. "You said I should look at something more realistic. Do you remember?" His throat tightened. I may have been out of line. I didn't mean any offense." She turned toward him fully now, voice calm but edged with gravity. "You didn't need to mean it. You believed it. That's worse." The silence was heavy. Even the faint sound of rain returning outside felt deliberate. Frank, the elderly salesman from the day before, stepped forward quietly. "Miss Grant," he said, his tone warm, "it'd be my honor to assist with your purchase today." Lily smiled genuinely for the first time. "Thank you, Frank. I'd like to proceed with the order. 12 vehicles. 6 sedans, 3 hybrids, 3 vans. And I'll take the Accord for someone who's earned it more than I have." As Frank guided her to his desk, Blake's manager turned sharply. "Morrison, my office. Now." His voice was ice. But Lily raised her hand slightly. "There's no need," she said gently. "This isn't about revenge. It's about perspective." She turned back to Blake, who now looked smaller than the night before. "You thought you were protecting your company's image," she said quietly. "But what you really protected was your prejudice. The woman you mocked yesterday could have written your entire department's payroll. And yet, that's not what matters." Her words softened. "What matters is how you treat people when you think no one important is watching." For a long moment he said nothing. Then came a strained whisper. "I'm sorry." Lily nodded once. "Then prove it. Respect those who walk in here, whether they come in a suit or a uniform." The following week, the Chen Foundation's vehicles arrived for pickup. Local news outlets covered the purchase, noting that it would support food delivery programs, hospital volunteers, and single parents commuting to work. In every photograph, Frank stood beside Lily, smiling proudly. And in the background, just barely visible through the dealership's glass walls, Blake was packing his things into a cardboard box. His tie was loose, his name tag gone. As he walked past the showroom floor, his eyes caught the silver Accord. Its new owner, a single mother in a diner uniform, clutching the keys with tears of gratitude. Lily watched from a distance, her expression unreadable. Frank approached quietly. "You did good, Miss Grant," he said. "You turned something ugly into something that'll keep giving." She looked at him and smiled faintly. "Kindness always outlasts cruelty, Frank. Always." Outside, the late afternoon sun broke through the clouds, spilling gold across the wet pavement. The air smelled of new beginnings, oil, rain, and the faint sweetness of hope. Lily opened her phone, glanced at a text from her foundation's board, and typed a short reply. "Approved. Expand the fleet program nationwide." She looked back one last time through the showroom glass. Blake sat on the curb, his reflection distorted in the puddles, the reality of his choices settling in heavier than the rain had the day before. Lily took a deep breath, straightened her jacket, and walked toward her waiting car. The driver opened the door, but before getting in, she paused to speak to a young woman passing by with a resume in hand. "They're hiring," Lily said with a knowing smile. "Just make sure they remember your name for the right reasons." The woman smiled, not yet realizing who she was speaking to. As the car door closed and the engine started, the camera would linger on Lily's calm face reflected in the window, rain streaking down like fading judgment. The world around her moved on, but her message remained, carried in every whisper, every glance exchanged by those who had witnessed what true respect looked like when power and humility met. And for anyone who doubted her once, that day became the story they would never stop retelling. Days later, the silver Accord rolled quietly through Vancouver's east side, its new owner, a young mother in a diner apron, waving to neighbors as her son grinned from the back seat. From the sidewalk, Lily watched for a moment, the corners of her mouth lifting in a quiet, knowing smile. What had begun with humiliation had turned into something larger, a reminder that dignity, once defended, never fades. She no longer thought about the salesman's sneer or the sting of his words. Instead, her mind lingered on what came after, the quiet apologies, the change in how people looked at one another inside that glass showroom. It wasn't victory she felt. It was clarity. The rain had finally stopped, leaving the streets washed clean. Lily stood beneath the fading light, her reflection merging with the city she'd once felt invisible in. "Maybe that's how change really happens," she whispered to herself. "One small act of respect at a time." As she walked away, her heels clicking softly against the pavement, a breeze carried the sound of laughter from the open window of the Accord. Light, free, and alive. It was the sound of a new beginning. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe to Canada's Heartfelt Tales. where real stories remind us that strength and kindness always leave the deepest mark.